everybody, Shell here from Shadows Grove Homestead. Sorry it's been so long since I did a video. Things have been really busy with the holidays and keeping up with the animals and health issues, but I wanted to do a real quick video on making hard-boiled eggs out of your farm fresh eggs. I know that this is a big problem for a lot of people. I see a lot of complaints about being unable to peel them, and that is a problem with farm fresh eggs. That if you boil them on the stove, they can be harder to peel if they are fresh. Store-bought eggs aren't much of a problem. They're usually refrigerated and kept for weeks and weeks, as to where farm fresh eggs, we usually use them in a matter of days in many cases. So I've already selected my eggs, so I will show you. I've picked all but eggs that were laid today, and a double yolk are laid on the 12th. Pardon the squeaking, the dog is walking around with his toy. So I've gone ahead and I've washed all my eggs. So here we have them. You want to make sure you wash them all. If you don't get all your eggs washed, you could potentially cause any really gross germs and mud, poop, anything of that matter to soak through the shell. Because once you wash them, the bloom's gone, you hard boil them, and they become more susceptible for things to sink in through the shell into the middle. So you want to make sure you wash them all really well with soap and water. So, and as you can tell, I label all of mine with the date that they were laid. That doesn't cause a problem at all when you use them, when you hard boil them. I use pencil instead of any kind of ink. So I will go ahead and I'm going to put them in my basket, because the secret I have found, sorry for moving so much, the secret that I have found for hard boiling fresh eggs is an Instapot. If you do not have an Instapot, I cannot tell you enough that you really should get one. Really should get one. They are the best thing. You can put them in here however you want, and you can put as many in as you want in the basket. Obviously you don't want to overflow it too incredibly much, but it doesn't have to be a single row. And you want to put it in your Instapot. But before you get it started, you want to take a cup of water. So let's go get a cup of water. This is 1 full cup. You know, this just came with my Instapot. Sorry about my house. It's not spick and span. We do live here with crazy kid and crazy animals. So here we go. Now this, I'm going to show you. I'll take the eggs out real quick. The Instapot has a rack you put inside. So you've got your rack. You put your 1 cup of water inside, and then you set your eggs on the rack. Now, I hear that pretty much all Instapots, are just as good as the next. Mine is a Mueller brand. It's German made. I'm not a huge cook. I'm not a chef. I'm not the kind of person that could tell you all the fun details about it. But I can say I've not had a bad experience with this one. I make, one of my favorite things to make as well is, rice pudding. So, then you take your lid, and it's a pressure cooker, keep in mind, so you want to make sure you've got your open and closed here. You want to make sure you line up your lid. Notice it's beeping at me now, to where it says close. You've got your red button up here to open it. Closed. You want to make sure it doesn't move. Everything is sealed. And then this here, you've got airtight and exhaust. I should probably turn that around to where you're not reading it upside down. Airtight and exhaust, which is right there. We don't want it on exhaust right now. We want it on airtight. So that way it will pressurize, and then when we're done and we want to open it, we'll put it on exhaust. So for now, we want airtight. Alright, so what are we making? We're making eggs. So look at all of our options here. Look at all those options. So we want egg. Now, we want them for 7 minutes. They're different everywhere where we're at. We want 7 minutes. And it will just automatically start. So it's going to preheat. You see it says preheating there. Once the preheating is done with, it will start to really cook them, and then it will let me know when it's done. Now, I'm not going to sit here on the video and make us wait forever till they're done. What I'm actually going to do is make some food for my chickens with hard-boiled eggs from the other day. I'll show you what they came out like very well. And then I've got some cooked rolled barley here. And what I do is I make them a really delicious mash that they absolutely love. And so, and I'm going to add some grapes as well. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to make them their yummy, delicious treat. And then when it's done, I'll come back and I'll show you our end result. Alright, so our time has passed. Our eggs are done. But before we take them out, there's a few things that I like to do to prepare. So I will turn the camera around and I will show you. So we're going to need to put them in ice cold water. So I always get one of the bigger bowls that I have. And then of course we need a bowl to put them in after we peel them. Now you don't have to peel them if you don't want to. I tend to peel them right away to put them in the fridge so that they're ready for use. And then of course I save our eggshells, because then what I do is I blend them, I pulverize them in my Ninja, and I make a, that's what this sour cream container is. I'll turn that. I make a calcium powder. It's a very fine dust. But that's what I do with my eggshells. That way I have enough calcium powder for my garden. I mostly use it in the garden. I don't use it in the chicken coop for the most part. I use oyster shells for them. Plus the rooster, he lives with them and he eats the same food as them. I don't like to put too much calcium in the food. Alright, so let's get back to our eggs. So what we want to do is, oh, and this is the mix I made for the chickens while we were waiting. It's just some boiled rolled barley, about 8 hard-boiled eggs. I used a chopper to finely chop them up, and then there are grapes, and they absolutely love it. Anyways, back to what we were doing. We get our bowl, and we want to fill it with ice. So here's my ice maker. You can also use one if it's built into your fridge. Our fridge is broken right now, so I'll use it out of my little ice maker. And I'm going to fill it with ice. Just like that. And then I'm going to fill this with water. But I'm going to set it there. And then I'm going to set this down. Face it that way. Alright, I'm going to get the water real quick. I like to fill up a pitcher first instead of trying to drag it from the sink over. Now you don't need a whole lot of water, like half a pitcher will do, because the ice is going to melt rather fast once you put your egg basket in there. Now keep in mind, it's going to be really hot and you don't want it to overflow. So that should be okay for now. If I need to add more, it'll be fine. So that's about how much water. So here we are back at our Instapot. It has been done for 5 minutes. I gave it enough time to settle. So now here's what we want to do. Now's where we want to use the exhaust option. You want to slowly, and do not stand over this because it will shoot out. Slowly move this to exhaust. See how it did that? You do not want to be standing over that. It is very hot. Are you helping, Trixie? That's our old girl. All right, now we want to release the latch and open it. So up here, our red button, open. And lots of steam will come out of that. So even though we used the exhaust and got as much out as we could, this is still very hot. Please do not put your face over that. The handles to the basket, very hot. So we want to pick up our eggs. There we go. They are hot, hot, hot. And we want to put them in our ice water. There we go. Now, if you find that you need more water, you can add it. You want to make sure you're getting a good equal coverage, and we're not yet, so we're going to add just a little bit more cold water. And usually you want to leave it, a lot of people say like 2 minutes. I personally like to leave it a little bit longer. I'll go for even like 4 or 5 minutes, just because I'm one of those people that want to be sure. One of those just in case people. So most of our ice is melted. It's very full. It will start overflowing if I let there be too much. And so what we want to do is we just want to let it sit for a minute or two. They're all cool to the touch now, but we want them to cool all the way through. This is a really good way to get them done in a quick way. I know that when you hard boil eggs on the stove, they usually take a little bit longer. They're really hard to peel if they're fresh eggs. And this kind of bypasses all of that, which is great. Because clearly we want to be able to use our eggs and not have to throw them away or them look or taste terrible. Now, something that I like to do when I'm done soaking them is I will take them kind of from the bottom, whoever was, down there soaking it up the most, and just kind of mix them up a little bit. And when I'm ready to start peeling my eggs, I usually do that again. Like I said, some people say, 1 to 2 minutes is all you need. I personally, like I said, tend to leave them in there just a little bit longer. I'm really bad. When I say really bad, I am not being modest. I mean, I am really bad at peeling eggs. So if I can have perfectly wonderful peelable eggs, so that by the time I'm done, I still at least have some egg, I'll take it. Because I am terrible at peeling them. And before, when you have the shell and that inner film sticking to it, and the whole thing just wants to peel apart, all I'd have left is like a couple pieces of the yolk, and I'm like, great, that's what I get. So let's go ahead and peel one and see how we look. Here we go. I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to zoom it out so we can see what's going on. I'm going to move these guys over. So here we go. This is our eggshell container here, and this is where I will put the eggs as I peel them. So we'll mix them up again. Take one out. Dry it off. There's no need to make a big mess for no reason. Some people like to drain them before they peel them. You can do that too. There's no reason I'm not. There's literally no reason whatsoever that I'm not. Like I said, I'm not real good at it. I don't have a technique. I just sort of tap, and then I start to peel. I should probably move this closer for us here. So here we go. Let's see how we do. Now again, this egg was laid yesterday. All the eggs that we did today were laid the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. I have 9 hens. On average, I get anywhere from 8 to 9 eggs a day. My 9th one just started laying recently, so she's sort of hit or miss some days. My other girls are just little workhorses for this time of year. My eggs are, my chickens are lavender Orpingtons, and I do have a rooster, so all my eggs are fertilized. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. It's doing really good. And here we go. That is hard-boiled, laid yesterday. Hard-boiled for 7 minutes and blanched in the cold water for, I don't know, was it 4 minutes? I didn't count, were you guys? So let's try another one. Let's do one for the 13th as well. I didn't do any of the double yolkers. I think I only have one left anyway. I didn't do any of them. But that's all right. So here we go. Let's see. And I'm telling you, normally any eggs that were, laid anytime recently are not going to peel when you hard boil them unless you've kept them in the fridge for a while. This Instapot method is fantastic, and there's a lot of people that don't want one, don't like them, don't use them. They think that it does something weird to your food. I don't know. I'm very picky on things that I use to eat and cook my food for health reasons. Like I don't use the microwave because of what it can do to the nutrients. But the Instapot has been just a miracle worker in my house, especially with these right here. You can make just about anything in it. It's amazing to me. So, there's a lot of people too that also will, I've never done it. So if you have done it, let me know. But baking them, like they'll put them in a, like a muffin tin and bake them, and apparently that's a way to hard boil them as well. I've never had it. I've never tried it. And since I'm so bad at making them, I'll stick to this method since it works for me. And there we go. Egg number 2. You see how slow I am though? I'm really bad at peeling eggs. So again, I need all the help I can get when it comes to doing my hard-boiled eggs, because normally when I don't do it in the Instapot, they are in pieces. So thank you very much for joining me. I just really wanted to share this trick with you. I'll try my best to make some more videos. And as always, we're super thankful to have you watching our videos and joining us here on YouTube. You can also find us on Facebook. And I do have a Twitter and an Instagram as well, but I don't use them very much. But the link will be down below. So please go ahead and like our video. Go ahead and subscribe, share with all your friends. And we'll see you soon. As always, I'll win.